Welcome to the podcast. Excited to have our guest today, Tod Friedman. Kate and Dave have worked with Todd for, 2 years, you were saying?
Yep, 2 years this week.
So you guys may have some more insights and questions than I do because I haven't had a lot of personal experience hanging with Todd, but Kate has told me a lot about your transformation and just working with you and how much of a pleasure it's been. It's cool. She brags about guess how, she's just, it's consistent good feedback, which is really cool. Whenever she'll hey, guess how my client Todd's doing. It's really neat to hear that. And then she was really talking about how we really wanted to have you on. And I was like, yeah, that would be perfect. I think what I like to always start out with, if you've ever watched one of these, is a good place to start is give us maybe a 5-minute synopsis of fitness just in your life. Growing up, were you active? Did you play sports as an adult? Did you go to the YMCA or, did you go to the gym? Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I love working with you guys. So growing up, I'm the least coordinated person you'll ever meet. And it's crazy because I have a son who was a professional soccer player.
Oh, wow.
So where he got his coordination, I have no idea. So I am not an athlete. I am not a person who ever trained, and I was really not very athletic. So probably around college is when I started maybe lifting a little.
Okay.
Just on my own.
Yep.
And really kind of through law school, I would occasionally go for a run, lift a little, not very focused. Not till I turned 40 did I really start running. So every 10 years, I would go and do something different in order to spark myself. So starting at 40, I actually started Weight Watchers. And I did that for about 10 years, learned a lot. And then when I turned 50, I started cycling. And so I got into cycling. And I said, you know what, when I turn 60, I got to do something different. And for a lot of reasons, I reached out to Kate and started that. So really not a very spectacular childhood.
No, and that's not we're not
fitness.
We're not looking for, I think some of the more enjoyable guests and more relatable ones, if you have someone on here and they're like, well, I was a, D1 football player and, they did all of this stuff and then they're really fit and you're like, well,
of course.
Yeah, just kind of keep it going. But what's really fun is if physical fitness wasn't a huge part of your life or a focus, if you had a lot of other focuses and then, later in life, at 60 plus you've made this, you've packed on a bunch of muscles and you look great and you've made this transformation. I think everyone can see that and they're like, okay, what are some things we can learn and take away from that? And I think my next question for you would just be what are a couple key points that you've learned from Kate and then maybe even Dave as far as okay, I really noticed my body started to change when I made this change?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's more than just a few key points. I mean, I went to see Kate. I was not a believer, and I was very skeptical. She would give me some advice, and I go, yeah, I'm not doing that. But I did listen to a majority of what Kate told me, and it really, my life totally turned around after meeting with Kate, and I really was not a believer. But I said, you know what, I'll give it a shot. And I've spent a lot of money, so I've got some commitment here. So I'll give it a shot and see what happens. So before I met Kate, I'd get up at 8:30, wouldn't eat breakfast, wouldn't eat until probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'd have a big lunch. I'd snack all day, eat dinner at 7, 8 o'clock, have my 10 o'clock snack and go to bed. And, I would run, I would cycle. I very rarely lifted weights, and I kind of felt really out of balance. I wasn't heavy, but I was pudgy, and as Kate told me, I was weak, and I was weak. She was right. And so I started, I really started to turn that around and listen to her. And I started getting up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, having my first breakfast of carbs and protein. And then I'd go work out. And then I'd come back, have my second breakfast of protein. And then around 11:30, have my lunch, 2 o'clock, a healthy snack. And 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30, I have dinner, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
And that routine change was probably the single biggest factor of my transition or transformation, if you want to call it that. And then I started lifting, and I wasn't really a big lifting person because I when I came to see Kate initially, my back was awful. I mean, I couldn't stand straight. I couldn't transition from standing to sitting. It was very difficult. It was very painful. So after about 6 months of seeing Dave and other trainers, my back has been super good.
That's great.
And I've been able to work out.
It's almost counterintuitive. You need to strengthen it to make it feel better,
right.
you know, and get it out of that spot. It's funny that you use that paradigm shift of backloading your calories, and then you shift it down to the, you know, earlier in the day and then stop it at 5. One of the first things that stuck with me with like a nutrition type thing was Sylvester Stallone was on, I think, Conan O'Brien, like in the late 90s. And I was just like in high school watching it. And it's like, how do you stay, you know, you're in your 50s and like, how do you stay so like ripped? And he was just like, this is something everyone can do. He said, I quit eating after 5 o'clock. And he said, I go to sleep and then it chews up the fat. And that was his piece of fitness advice. And I just remember that very well. And it was, 20 plus years ago. And now, like when we have people on, that's like a big
I didn't always
thing.
do that because when I was into like bodybuilding, I feel like your meals, we would get this like set plan every day and you had to eat the same thing. It was like real old school, written down on a piece of paper. And you'd eat the same thing for 6 weeks and get a new diet. But you'd have your last meal pretty late because your meals were all so small. And I think that was more the thing. But, I like to work with other nutrition companies and get ideas from them. And I found this nutrition company based out of California. And basically, this guy was just so expensive. He got my attention. Remember that? It was like $1,000 a month. And I was like, okay, they got to be doing something great. They had a whole team of coaches, which I found kind of annoying to have like a conditioning coach, lifestyle coach, nutrition coach. But and they went more with like glycemic index, which I just don't think is super effective. I did adopt from him. I remember him telling me, okay, the earlier you can cut off your meals, the better, and just try it. And I thought, well, I'm here to just try different things. So he's like, if you can stop eating by 3. Oh my God. All right. I can't do that, but I can do like 5, and make it to like 9 and go upstairs and read or whatever. And then it just changed so much, and then you wake up hungry and you feel better. And I feel like it gives your body time to digest, but it's hard to do. It's I think the hardest thing, but it also cuts out the majority of calories for people because that's when they're like snacking. You're just trying to kind of come down from the day,
right. I wear a fitness monitor, and so I notice that when I eat later, my HRV, my heart rate variability, actually goes down. The earlier I eat, the higher it goes up. And
okay.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's one of the indicators of what time I eat.
Yeah. And you notice that with meditation too, right? You still you don't meditate anymore. I could tell.
That's one of those things. Thanks.
You need to get back into that.
Sure I do.
He was really not for meditating, but then he started to do it you got into it for a few months, I think, and you noticed your HRV would go back up, and that stoked you. That was...
Yes.
For people that don't know, can you explain HRV?
I wish I could. Heart rate variability, I think, is the amount of time between heartbeats. And so the longer between the time, the better off you are. So the higher the HRV, the better off you are. So mine, when I started with you, was very, very low. And it's actually, over the last 2 years, it's gone up about 15%.
Wow.
Which I love. That's awesome.
And you got into that based off the book, was it Outlive?
Outlive.
That really inspired you, yeah.
Yep. So Outlive is a great book of Peter Attia, I think, it's a great book, and it talks about lifestyle, talks about health habits. It talks about what kind of medical tests you should get. And it's really not about today. It's about how you're going to live 10 years from now.
Yeah.
So he has a lot of great theories in there. So I kind of live by that.
I need to check that one out. Yeah.
Outlive.
Okay. I've listened to quite a few of his podcasts, but haven't read any of his books.
Very great books, yeah.
Have you
we have it. It's like 600 pages. It's pretty long.
I read parts of it. We have it at home,
it's divided
too.
into like chapters of a specific area of focus. If like that's something more interesting, you could just probably read that. That section. It's probably 100 and something.
Yeah.
Pages,
Right, and you probably take notes or read it on a Kindle so you can bookmark the spots, because there's a lot in between the important parts.
Okay. Dives into the weeds a little bit, and yeah.
There's a lot of extra stuff in it.
600 pages. Yeah, that's not a short book, but those are ones I'll geek out on, and I'll kind of fly through them because like you get really into the material. I like those ones.
So I have a question. Why did you decide to get into fitness like in the very beginning? Why was that important for you, like in your 30s?
Oh, I was just feeling frumpy, and I went to law school, a lot of pressure, and a good way to get rid of the pressure is, and I was also starting to read, this was back in the late 80s, early 90s, starting to read that health and fitness was good and for your heart and going for longevity. Didn't know how to do it, but I did something.
Right. Because you grew up in a family that was fairly inactive, right?
Active day for my folks was 9 holes of golf.
Yeah.
So they were not very active.
Yeah, and that's hard. I'm sure even in, you're a professional, you're a lawyer, so you're smart. But in that field, I mean, you work so many long hours. It's probably not uncommon for most people to not be healthy.
Right.
Run off caffeine and alcohol
and sitting all day.
Big dinners, and when you get out, and it's tough.
Right. So, when I went to law school, it was the same thing. Long hours of studying, and then I would just go out and try to run a little bit and try to burn off a little energy. So that's kind of why I got into running a little bit. But I'd do 3 miles, and that was about most I did.
Yeah. So would you say your day to day now in your career is pretty stressful?
Yeah, I would call it that, but I'm over 60 now, so the stress I can kind of manage. It's not as debilitating as it used to be. But yes, there's a lot of pressure. How about that? A lot of pressure in the work.
Do you think that interfered with your ability to be healthier when you were younger?
No question.
Yeah. So what do you think you did to help like wrap your head around like making the time, having the energy? Because I mean that's what's going to speak to a lot of people if they have real high pressure jobs. Like I just don't have it in me, or I don't have the time, or
I mean you got to do it. And I kind of, when my body says, what, I don't feel like getting up this morning, that's the time that you really need to do it.
Yeah.
Probably almost every morning I get up and do I really want to do this? And that's the time that you really need to push it and say, yes, you got to go do that.
Yeah. I remember you saying that, like you don't enjoy working out, and you're like, maybe one day I will. Do you now? Now it's 2 years later.
Actually, I do.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I don't enjoy I do enjoy the workout, but not as much as the result. And you think to yourself, if you don't do that, you're not going to have the result. And so I cherish the result more than actually the workout, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But I think you like lifting more. Well, you like telling me how much you lift more.
I do lift more. Yes, I tell you. Yeah. But I do. I like lifting, and I like cycling. I probably cycle too much for what you would approve. But
less cycling, more meditation.
Yeah. How about if I meditate while I cycle?
I guess.
So I cycle. And I like working out. I love working out with Dave. I love working out with my other trainers. They're awesome.
Yeah. So you do Dave twice a week. Your other trainers 2 times a week.
Yes, and then I do Alex at the Height Center on Wednesdays.
Okay. Oh, so you have got 5, and Alex helps stretch you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So you've got 4 weight training days, a stretch day, and then you're cycling 2 times.
2 cycles.
Okay, like 1 shorter one longer one.
Sure.
2 long ones. 2 long ones. This is what we always used to paddle. See, they always go back to.
So you got to be doubling up on at least one of those days. So you will do like strength in the morning and then in the evening you'll cycle? Is that what you're doing, or how's that work?
Weekends, don't you?
Well, yeah. So when I'm training for Pelotonia, sometimes Tuesdays, Thursdays, I'll train in the morning and cycle at night.
Okay.
Kate doesn't like that.
Yeah.
But I do it. And then Saturday, Sunday is when I
Sundays. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Sunday's always a big like cycle day for people. I always see that because you have the time to go far.
Yeah. Saturdays are our long ride.
Okay.
So we'll do, when we're training, we'll do 50, 60, 70 miles on Saturday. And then Sunday we'll do a recovery ride of, 25, 30 miles.
Do you guys ever go out towards like Grandview and do that? Okay.
That's where we ride.
That's what I thought.
Grandview,
Yeah.
Hartford, Utica, all the way up there.
Yeah. My folks live out there, and there's lots of cycling and things going on out there. So I always see that. That's all. It's real pretty out there.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. With strength training, what moves have you found or felt like were like the most beneficial to like building you up? Like, what do you like? Oh man, when I say I deadlifted or back squatted, or what did you say? Man, something clicked there, and I could feel when I started doing that, something in my body turned around.
I would say just kind of probably being more of an avid cyclist and stuff. Your legs are very strong. I mean, I know when you came in, you didn't think you were very strong, but like for your age and like experience level, like weight training, like you could move some weight around. I think it was just feeling confident and, having kind of that just kind of sedentary back pain where you're just, the only thing you're doing is kind of hunched over on a bike all the time. You had nice, strong quads and legs, but just really getting that back strong, getting those glutes firing, getting those hammies going, everything like that. His posterior chain just a lot better right now.
Yep.
And, we will, push some of the maybe heavy weights on like some of the upper body stuff. Usually we were talking about this morning, the lower body, just because it, like on a max deadlift or back squat, it just carries more risk. And at your age, do you really want to risk that?
Sure.
So we'll spend some time 80% plus, but usually keep those to like, somewhere between 3 and 5 reps.
Yeah.
Like some of the lower body movements. We'll use the hex bar for deadlifts just because it's a little less back strain, and you can kind of not necessarily squat it more, but you could definitely sit into it a little bit more with the legs as opposed to kind of hinging over with that straight bar. So that stuff has gotten a lot better. Just kind of progressing it very slowly, playing the long game. But I mean, his bench press is probably up to like almost 235 right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
doing chin ups every day too. Like we just talk about improving those chin ups. Just every time you come in the gym, just do a handful every day. Just get a little bit more practice doing that.
Yeah. So yeah, the chin ups are big, and the rotations. Those rotating. Cable.
Yeah, we'll do just instead of that kind of sagittal or frontal plane movement, we do a lot of rotational stuff, ab work or things with the cables, just to make sure that back's just not getting stiff and we're kind of rotating a little bit just under load, because I think that just generally makes people feel less stiff, especially if there's some back pain.
So the rotational exercises that we do are the game changers, in my opinion, and also the one where we stand on the box and we pull that one that we did once or twice.
Oh yeah, for the glutes one.
Yeah, so that one where you come across.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was like a single leg kind of a cable RDL, like high reps.
Yep.
That was a game changer.
Yeah.
I walked out of here like, wow, that feels great.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
Yeah, just trying to explore some different positions that are increasing his range of motion, mobility, but just, trying to improve and gain some muscle. Yep.
Awesome.
So what I wanted to ask you, so you could let people know, you travel a lot and you like to have a big social life. So how do you balance, let's first go with travel and eating healthy and your workouts. Like, what's your stance on that?
Yeah. So Kate was not a big proponent of me traveling.
Well, no, I travel a lot too, but you can't travel a lot and have friend outings too. Something's got to give, right?
So everything's a balance.
Yeah.
So when I travel, I'll send pictures of the gym to Dave, and Dave will design a routine for me every morning when I travel. I work out, and then it's a little more difficult to eat the eating part, because you have to go to the restaurant for your morning breakfast. So I bring like a Perfect bar, or I'll bring some of my Chobani yogurts with me. So that I can eat a little bit before I work out. So then I follow Dave's workout based on the gym equipment. And then, it's very difficult when you travel with other people, which we do. To
they like to go.
Eat at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So Kate gave me a great tip, and that is go and eat your meal at 4 o'clock or 4:30 or 5, and then when you go out to dinner, you'll have a salad. You'll pick it a little bit, and then you'll eat off of, or you order an appetizer and just pick it a little bit, and that's what I do. And I'm not a big drinker, so. The alcohol part's really not a big issue for me.
That's huge because you're still waking up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Right.
Yeah, probably a normal-ish.
So I really do try to keep my schedule when I travel, and when I go out with my friends, I just kind of pick around a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. And I remember the meals out every week. That was a big one too, because you like to go to a lot of lunches and pretend like it was not going out to eat.
Yes. So so look, I do. I go out to lunch with my friends, and they've moved their lunchtime back a little bit for me, so we're going a little earlier. But when I go, I really try to use some discretion and try not to eat as much as I used to, and try to eat all protein stuff. I don't. I know you don't necessarily like salads, but I know why you don't like salads.
No, I love salads, but they're
full of stuff.
Like 1,500 calories.
Right. So I always order salad without dressing, so I can put my dressing on myself. I always order a protein on it, and I try not to eat too much of the protein and too much of the stuff. So I really cut back on the quantity of food that I eat, and that's really the key.
Yeah.
And like when I go out to dinner, we'll go, like the other night I went to the Top, and great food, really heavy, and I ended up only eating 25% of my meal, and I brought the rest home and I ate it out over time.
Yeah,
so that's my trick.
Yeah, just getting used to it. Yeah, that's good, and that's simple because you can always leave food on the plate. You're Jewish, you have a lot of holidays, a lot of celebrations, and those are hard to navigate, especially like not eating during the day. You'll break the fast pretty late.
I remember the first time I said to Kate, hey, we've got Yom Kippur coming up, and I fast all day. She went, what? So, what am I supposed to do after the fast? Let me get back to you. All right. So
but you've navigated it well. It's now been 2 years. Yeah. And where were you when you first started, like weight-wise, and where are you now?
So I'm down, I've gained a little back. So I was down 20 when I finished with you, and I've gained about 4 or 5 back. Okay. But I really think it's muscle.
You've gained a lot of muscle, too.
I was going to say, you're solid, though.
Yeah, your shoulders and chest.
If you believe my scale, it says I'm 14% body fat.
Oh, wow.
I have a
That's excellent.
Whiff of things.
Yeah, what did your scale say? Did you have the same one when you started?
I did.
What did it say then?
I was over 25.
Okay, wow. That's great. That's especially 60 to 62. That's amazing. And it's not like you don't go out to eat, you don't travel, you've given up all these things. So really just your lifestyle is just kind of...
It's being smart about it.
Yeah.
Being smart and learning what your tricks were and then just converting them into my lifestyle.
Yeah, cool.
Tricks or advice,
or
whatever you want to call
it. Yeah.
Strategies.
Yeah.
There you go. Sorry.
Yeah. Neat. So what are your goals now?
Staying healthy. That's, again, as I mentioned earlier, it's not about today. It's about 10 years from now. It's about 20 years from now. And we all end up dying, but I just want to do it actively. I don't want to be bedridden. I want to be able to walk. I want to be able to go up and down stairs. I've got 4 grandkids, so I want to be able to be with them and play with them and keep up with them as best as I can.
Yeah.
We were talking about that, where when people get into their 60s, we're just noticing how maybe sometimes how people will spend their money. And if you don't use some of those resources when you have the ability to make yourself strong and healthy, well, on the back end, you're going to pay for it in assisted living and nurses and all that type of stuff in your 70s and 80s, and it'll decimate all that money real fast too.
Yeah, you could spend it like on the other side, like preventatively, like you are, and that's not really accepted well with anyone. Like, oh, that's insane.
That's too much. That's way too much money. I'm like, how much does it cost for a 24-hour health aid? You're going to be paying $50, $60 an hour, 24 hours a day.
I was going to say the money that I spend here pales in comparison to what assisted living and all those other costs are. I mean, it's a fraction of what it is.
Yeah.
And plus, I feel great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's it's like I'm paying forward. Is what I'm doing here.
Yeah. And it's funny because I was talking to my dad on the phone today, and I started talking to him about stem cells, and I'm like, this might be a long shot here, but I grew up pretty poor, and now my grandfather has passed away. My parents have some means to spend money and take care of themselves, and I'm like, Dad, I think you're well enough that you could go, because he just got diagnosed with like COPD and emphysema. But we went to Columbia. I don't know if you remember. That must have been like right around when we were working together.
Might have been right before.
Right before, yeah. And we got stem cells, and it's really supposed to help that. Like, we remember that older couple we met there, and it is really supposed to help you when you're older, just kind of like bring you back. I can't tell if he was listening to me or not, but I'm like, I think you're well enough now, and you can't have cancer within 5 years. But it's funny. Everyone thought we were crazy, but in my mind, it's an investment to like keep doing what we're doing here and having the energy and feeling like youthful in ways that we wouldn't otherwise. And no one would blink an eye spending $50,000 on your kitchen. But to go there and spend $50,000 is like, you're insane.
And your body.
You know? Yeah, like you're revamping your body, you know? You revamp your kitchen.
Well, the good news is your process costs a fraction of that.
Right,
Yes,
exactly.
exactly.
It's still expensive, but yes, you don't have to do that.
And I feel great. And
yes, and meditation's free. Okay.
That one is a big one for me when I'm on the meditation stuff consistently, and I usually do it right when I get home from work when I'm doing it, and I have a million excuses as to why not to do it. I'm busy and like, hey, I haven't finished this up. I'll just flip my computer open and the kids and all of that. But when I'm consistently doing it, my anxiety level, it resets me completely. Like it'll build through the day, and maybe there's stuff here and some fires to put out, and then I do that, and it's like it just washed that part away. And I'm kind of like you. I think I don't like doing it. It's like a hard habit for me to like maintain, but I have really noticed the benefit, and you do a good job of kind of like busting my balls when I'm not doing it. Like, you haven't done it in like a week or two. Like, why don't you go up there? You seem pissed off, or you've been in a bad mood for 3 days.
So my Whoop measures my stress all through the day, and so rarely am I in the yellow and red. I'm usually in the green and the blue. So maybe I'm just a naturally calm person.
Yeah, you seem like a calm person.
Yeah. Well, you've probably had to learn. I know some of your job, and with a lot of kids too, and grandkids. You learn. Yeah.
So I'll try. I'll try to meditate.
Well, I have this theory. Like, if you wake up around 5 or 6. Usually, I know me, around 1 or 2, I'm starting to crash. I'm starting to get pissed. I'm done with the day. And if I just lay down for 20 minutes, it brings me back, and it's just 20 minutes. And I think, well, I could just easily waste that away on my phone. And that's what I'll do. I'll either start shopping or scrolling or doing something to kind of pacify myself. So I might as well do something like good for myself. And that used to be, like, I'm just an overeater, and that I have a really hard time around that time of day. And that's when I would like overeat. I'd start off with a normal snack, then it'd get huge, and then sometimes it'd be a full-on binge. But really what I need to do is just go lay down. I'm either annoyed or pissed or tired or all of them. And it just kind of just kind of resets you
like
to
a 5-year-old.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
So my time's 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock's when you crash.
Yeah, and I get hungry, and I could really dig in and snack a lot.
Yeah.
So I try to avoid that.
Yeah.
Even a 10-minute like kind of reset, I think that's been effective for people.
Do you ever take naps when you travel at all? No. We've kind of fall into a rhythm on our trips and vacations with our whole family. So we get everyone's up early. We hit the beach, we eat, we do all the stuff, we work out. We do a lot before about noon or 1. we'll get everyone in, take showers, and then everyone will like pass out.
If it's around showers, it's the most convenient,
Yeah.
you know, because you're already going back.
Right.
Everyone passes out, and then we kind of like slowly rise after maybe 30 minutes, get some clothes on, and then we'll kind of like maybe watch some TV, mellow out, and then go out to dinner. And then that's like sort of the wave that we go on. But I feel really good when I'm doing that.
We did that when we were in Spain too. We even packed, I packed I have recovery boots now, and I packed them. I was just joking with Brandon. I'm going to try to put them on the plane. So I'm like, if we have some
don't
nice
do
seats,
it. Do not put those on the plane.
I can fit those, you know.
The
we
Normatex on
we
the
did not
plane.
get upgraded
like,
though. It would have been bad.
I'm like, you cannot.
He's like, I'm not
have
getting
those
on the plane if you do that.
Yeah, I was like, no. Or I'm not sitting next to you.
Are they a manual pump? Or is it electronic?
No,
No,
it's
it's
electronic, but it is pretty loud.
Yeah.
But the plane's loud anyways, you know. But no, I mean we use those almost every day. It was really great for your legs and to bring you back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to try to pack them. We have a little weekend coming up in Vegas, and I saw in our hotel you can wear Normatec boots there for 20 minutes for $90. And I was like, how about we pack ours?
Right.
You know.
Have you ever used those before?
I haven't.
It's just like a balloon.
I've seen
that
them. Yeah.
It's so a lot of fitness gadgets and things that they sell aren't really worth it. And that's the one tool
Boots.
that we've
you should
ever
borrow ours sometime.
that
They're
we've ever
great.
done that I'm like, you know, especially if you do like a big cycling session or the legs are just like, man, they're really sore or even like feel a little tweaky. I'll put those on after, particularly like we'll be doing in Power Hour like dynamic lower, and that's usually a hard day on the legs. I'll put those on at night, and it does make a big difference for the next day. So,
and I think overall inflammation and bloat. That's why I like to have them for trips too, because you know, especially going to warm places, you're in a swimsuit. No one wants to feel super bloated.
CrossFit Grandview podcast brought to you by Normatec.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. If I was ever gonna throw something out, I'm like, that's a good one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you, Kate was so effective with me that my daughter started.
Oh yeah, she was telling me that.
So Kara, my youngest, had kind of the same feeling I did. You know, out of balance. Bloat,
Yeah.
And she's been with you for a year now, year and a half.
Yeah, it's hard to. It doesn't seem like that long, you know, with her. But yeah, I think it has been.
And it's amazing. I mean, people come up to her and go, "Wow!" I mean, some people even accuse her of going on the GLP-1s.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, "Nope, this is all hard work."
Well, and if you look at her whole vibrance, that's
Yes.
what I really love to see. Is not just is she like slimmer, leaner, but it's like
Your aura.
Yes, we should get her a before and after aura card. They do those at Paloma, but no, she's just very, much more vibrant and confident,
Right.
and that's, I mean.
Yeah, she really has hit her balance there. So it's great.
Yeah.
So Kate did a great job
Yeah.
with her. And I got to tell you, I was worried about that because I didn't know how they were going to click. And
Yeah.
I gave Kate some heads up. And,
Yeah, no, you were really
thank
sweet
you.
looking out for her. You kind of
Worked
gave
out.
me like the enter, like I don't know if you're the one for her. Is there someone a little softer? And I'm like, I can do this.
It's funny. I say that all the time with, like she's in my parents group. Like my mom and dad are training with her, and I was training my dad, and he's pretty new to actually just to training in general, and you know, I'm like a little worried like how Kate will you know maybe be, but she always she really meets people right at the edge of where they're at, to where you know what I'm saying, Todd, like where it's like she pushes your buttons, but she'll ride that line just at the right line, like it adjusts for the different people. She's not like where you're like, if she hits her with what she's hitting me with, it's not going to work, but she'll pull it back to that person.
Well, and some people need a battle. You need a battle. Kara doesn't.
Right. yeah.
It's the lawyer in you.
You read us well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, she does power in the morning. She works with the kid, but she does power. I have her 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday usually, and she does the rev classes. I'll see her in there, and she's definitely got a lot stronger and feels comfortable. You know, again, kind of strengthening, you know, back, all that stuff, and upper body's getting strong, and she's really nice to have in class, and she's got some friends there and stuff, and people to get along with. So it's a nice supportive group. she's done really well.
Yeah,
We were talking about dogs for about 15 minutes this morning. So
yeah, we have 2 dogs, and she takes care of them for us. So
That's great.
It's awesome.
What kind of dogs?
I have 2 golden doodles.
Oh, cool. Those are good dogs. Yeah.
They're lovey.
Yeah. And they don't shed.
They don't shed.
That is that they've got the
they have hair instead of fur.
yes. And they've got kind of the best of both worlds there.
Yeah, the golden retriever
Behavior without the mats of hair on your couch every day.
Yeah, we had
It's
sheddy
the
dogs.
worst.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
We've been doing we've been doing like I've been doing a morning walk before I have coffee. And then we've been doing the evening walk together. And, you always see a lot of dogs like walking through Upper Arlington. I'm like, have you ever seen a pissed off golden retriever or a lab? Never seen a mad lab or a retriever,
Yeah.
I love those dogs.
So sweet.
Yeah. They're always really the one that lives at the corner there. It's like it's sweet and sad and just like
I always want to pick up that dog.
I'm like, Kate, you can't go into their yard all the time and start grabbing it. Like she'll just like walk into people. You just kind of like
so sad.
It just sits there and it looks like it needs a hug.
Should wear that around his neck.
And then like Kate will walk up and it just like flops onto its back.
oh yeah,
Oh, you found me.
on my belly.
That's the best. You do that.
Well, Todd, we're about out of time, man. I really appreciate this. You've been great on here, and I think we've got a lot of good nuggets where people look in on this and like they've got actionable advice. And again, like I wouldn't say you've got a lot of grit and determination. So I'm not going to say like you're a regular guy, but you're not coming in here from some sort of like, I was a professional this player or a CrossFitter guy. Like you're someone who's a working professional who at 60 made this big shift. And I don't think there's anyone who is 60 that's going to look at the way you walk around and how you're built and isn't going to be like, I want to know what that guy's doing. And so thank you so much for being on here.
He has got those compliments or people asking him, what are you doing? What's your workout like?
Right. I was at the rest stops at Pelotonia, and people would come up to me like, where do you work out?
That's awesome. That's the best compliment you can get. Very cool. Well, hey, Todd, thanks again.
Todd.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.